Hey guys, happy Homebrew Wednesday. Cheers.
JMS Brewery. Brew hard.
Hey everyone. Unfortunately, I don't have any homebrew this time, so I've got one of these clean skin beers. It's not that bad. Better than not having any beer. So cheers. Had a bit of a everything's been a mad rush, so that's why I haven't done a few videos. But you know, as they say, life gets in the way. I did a brew on the weekend, and haven't had a lot of sleep lately. I've been rushing around and doing stuff, and it's just been flat out. And I did my brew on the Saturday night, and geez, I normally plan everything pretty well, but this was just a disaster. I was doing everything. By the time I was heating up my strike water, I'm sitting there and I'm watching it and I'm going. So you know, as you know, it was not a good start at all. So I kept doing that, then did a 3-hour mash, because I mashed at 63 degrees. So I'm going for a very dry, nice sort of dry, crispy sort of flavour. And what I've done is I've recipe, just one that I threw together. Just used 2.5 kilos of pale malt, the Joe White traditional malt, and the Pilsner, also Joe White, 2.5 kilos, and 350 grams of flaked maize. And what I've been doing that same sort of recipe, that same base malts and that sort of stuff. And I've got a freezer full of hops, so I've been just doing different variances on that sort of stuff. And this weekend I did, I think it was 20 grams of El Dorado at 60 minutes, and then I threw in Centennial at 15 with a Wolflock tablet and the yeast nutrient, and then at Flame Out I threw in Cascade. I think the Centennial I threw in 40 grams of Centennial at 15 minutes, and then I threw in 40 grams of Cascade at Flame Out, and that's fermenting over there. Let's go and have a look. Let's go and check it out actually, shall we? This is sort of where you walk out of my brew room. That's me very messy workbench and laundry. And this is where I sit and watch my YouTube videos and that sort of stuff. That's my fridge. That's the bar with crap all over it. The pool table. Jukebox. And then I've got my other fermentation fridge. This is where I can heat up pies. I used to walk to the servo at 2 in the morning when I was having a few beers, and the missus said, well, she bought me this nice little pie oven. So now I hate frozen pies because I overdid it. This is beer's fermenting now, 19.4. She seems to be, yep, still going there pretty nicely. So yeah, it's all coming together. I've done a brew every single weekend ever since I started doing this, except this year, and I think I only missed one was last weekend, because or not the weekend before, because I was that tired and doing everything else for everyone. So then the following, when I was tired, I ended up doing it. But crazy brewers. So yeah, the brew I just did, it was everything went pretty well. It just, man, I was that tired. I've never done it. Every time I brew, when I finish with a mash tun, when you're into your boil kettle, I straight away, while the boil kettle's getting up to temperature, I chuck my grains out and I go and wash the bloody fermenter, the mash tun out, make sure it was all clean, that sort of stuff. And I did that, and then I did my I was that tired. It wasn't anything to do with really getting drunk. I was that tired that I actually, after I'd cleaned out the mash tun and I tip it upside down, let the water dry out of it and all that sort of stuff, and I did my you know, the whole works. Did the boil, did the chill, the whirlpool, added me hops, all that sort of stuff, and then I just couldn't remember. I was that tired and knackered. I just thought, oh geez, and I thought to myself in the morning, I was upstairs, and when I woke up and thought, geez, I hope I pitched the yeast. Oh geez, I hope I took it out of the boil kettle and put it in the fermenter. Or I hope oh no, and I couldn't remember. And I came down, I walked straight to the fridge that I just showed you, and it was in there boiling away. I even thought, did I even put water in the airlock, all that sort of stuff. I thought, oh sweet. I came down, walked into my brew room, and there's a boil kettle full of trube. Still had all my lines hooked up to my pump and everything like that. And bloody, oh mate, it was horrid. So I came down, you know, thinking, I just came down to get some stuff out of the freezer, and then ended up having to stay down here for an hour and a half and cleaning all the stuff up. It's like when you cook dinner, you know, if you don't rinse everything out there and you come back the next day, everything's like concrete and it takes you 20 times longer to do. But yeah, yeah, I've been brewing away. Everything's been going pretty well. Next week I was going to show you guys how actually my system works, which you probably already know pretty well. How I maintain my I was looking at Rick off Irish Groundhog Brewer. Just a very cheap. I've had guys say to me, you know, I'm going to buy a Herms and all this sort of stuff, these stainless steel, $400 worth of stuff, you know, to maintain heat and that sort of stuff. And all I do is this little coil, as you see here, that little baby, that goes inside my kettle full of water, and I've got the temperature controller, and then as you can see, just on over here, that little elbow that I've got there, temperature probe goes straight in there. That monitors the temperature, and you can do whatever you like. This kettle in Australia is about $8, so in the States probably $5 or something like that. And all you need is, if you've got a spare temperature controller, you know, off your use on your fridges and that sort of stuff, and that's all you do. And you can do amazing stuff with it. It's very cheap, that sort of setup. You can, as I said, $8 kettle. The coil won't cost you much. If you go to your hardware store and get some copper coil and that sort of stuff, you might have to heat it up and bend it around a bit, but you don't need much. And that's fully heat maintained, and you can step mash and you can do everything. You just, whatever you want into your controller, you beep beep beep, set your temperature, and the kettle comes on. And I'll tell you what, that little, I didn't think the thing was that powerful, but what I'm going to do in my next video, instead of using the HL2's element, I'm going to actually hook up this system, and I'm going to use the heat maintenance system to heat up my strike water. And I'm going to do it on a time lapse. So I'll film it, and then I'll play it back at high speed with the clock there and the temperature, so you can compare it. And I think you guys will be pretty surprised. It'll be pretty awesome. Again, I've got footage of me brew day, that sort of stuff. Again, I'm going to try and find some music and put it to it. But next week I would like to do a fully involved video. I think it's a bit more personal when I sit here and I'll start from scratch and talk, and you see me on the camera rather than just footage of everything else and nothing else going on, you know. So that would be a new approach. Give that a crack. Excuse me. Cheers. Been watching lots of good homebrew Wednesdays. There's shitloads of them out there, and they're bloody awesome. Have a look at old bloody Tiny. He's awesome. Off tap. He's great. And talked to him on Skype a few times, and I just watched, I caught up on about 5 of his videos. Bloody awesome. Same with Rick from Irish Groundhog Brewer, Under the Table Brewing. Man, I can't keep up. You know, they're great. All of you guys are awesome. It's funny, whenever you put the camera in front of you, it bloody erases the brain. When I sit there and I watch this, I go, why didn't you think of that, you bloody idiot? What did he do, So I think that's about it for me. I'm going to, as I said, the brew I've been doing using the Pilsner and the pale malt and the flaked maize as a base. I've been doing that a little bit, just been sort of comfortable with it, but I've got to get back into some real good malty craft beers. But it's all good. It's really all good. As I said, I've been doing a brew every week, or every weekend this year except for one. And man, it's a lot of work, eh? Like, excuse me, like with the I was told when I first started doing it, all grain takes you about 4 hours. But I'm using the Brewing a bucket as a HLT and a boil kettle, and they work tremendously. They do a great job. It's just sometimes, you know, heating and that sort of stuff's not too long, but I mean it really, even when I do a 1 hour mash, 1 hour boil, it's 6 hours sort of thing. But then I do 2-3 hour mashes, and you get the picture. It blows out. But I really love it. And like they were saying, it's just with you know, like doing all grain all the time. It's there's nothing wrong with doing a kit and keel. And I'll tell you what, like that's what I was saying in the video beginning of this year when I said I'm converting all the way to all grain, doing all grain all the time. But man, it's just a time thing, eh? Like, you got to work out how much time do you have and what, you know. And there's nothing wrong with the kit and kilos, or I mean, you don't have to, you just call them kit and kilos. I mean, LME, you can liquid malt extract. There's nothing wrong with doing the kits, and you can tweak them up, hop them up, do whatever you like with them, that sort of stuff. And I might be tempted to do that, because I mean, it's like when you're running around flat out and you're doing everything, even, you know, work, and then your weekend sort of work, and you're helping people and doing whatever, and you think, oh crap, I'm not going to be able to do my brew. You got to write off 8 hours. You can do a, you know, if you do a an extract, you can do like you knock a beer over in sort of hour and a half, 2 hours sort of thing, rather than all night. But anyway, I'm rambling a bit, so I'll leave you guys with the footage, and great to be here again, and cheers guys, see you next week.